Welcome back to the 0-Hour Challenge free trial. In this lesson, we are going to dive into how to build your 72-hour sales prototype and why this is the best approach to go to market, no matter of what industry you're in. All right, let's get it. So I want to share this visual of a paper airplane, okay? Because when it comes to sales, we want to know, will this offer fly? Is this offer going to fly? That's it. Now, to get something to fly, we don't need trillions of dollars of government funding for the latest in military grade technology to get this offer flying, okay? We need a piece of paper and a few folds, okay? That's the mindset that I want you to be in when it comes to your sales prototype, okay? What is the minimum viable funnel for you to go to the market and get sales? Why is it so critical to get sales first? Well, 90% of companies fail, according to Forbes. Okay? So that's a 10% survival rate over the next 5 years. 90% will fail. That means 9 out of 10 people listening to this right now are going to fail based on the stats. But since you're taking the challenge, you got a leg up, homie. So here's Batman and Robin. Batman slapping the shit out of Robin because he's saying, I'm building a product. And Batman says, not before you pre-sell it. Because he knows. Batman knows the deal. Drake knows the deal. Building, then finding customers? Hell no. We want to find customers and clients and then build. We literally want to get paid to build our product or service. All right. And then we got the clown here. I'm developing a new product. It's going to be ready in 3 to 12 months. I'm hiring the world's best team to build it. We launched. Now it's time to find customers. That is the ultimate clown approach to sales. Okay? Now, what I'm going to break down for you is how do you get high ticket clients, high paying clients from $3,000 because we're going to launch a pre-sale. So I've said 5K in the past. The pre-sale minimum is 3K. Okay. So how do you sell a 3K item with a $0 sales prototype or funnel, right? Everybody says, oh, I need money to launch a business. False, 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 false. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. So I'm just going to show you what's already worked. I'm not going to tell you concepts. I'm just going to show you what's already been proven to work. Here's example number 1. Okay. So this was my 6-figure agency accelerator program targeting freelancers. The lifetime value of the clients was $3,000 to $3,600. And the acquisition cost at this point, we weren't doing any ads. This was pure organic. So this is literally a $0 prototype. Okay. But if you're doing it this way, then your cost is going to be your time. And that is a real cost. So I'm going to estimate that this took 3 to 12 hours all in, to get this initial sale. Okay. Or per sale, right? Again, rough estimate. The difficulty of this sale, extremely hard. This was an extremely hard sale, because we were targeting, freelancers making a few $1,000s a month with a $3,000 program, which was hard to stomach for many of them. My sales close rate was around 1 in 5. And it took me about 1 to 3 calls of a sales cycle to close these deals. So now let's break into the components of the sales prototype. And this is all that you need to get sales. So first you need a no-brainer offer promo. So in this case, it was a Facebook group post, which you can see here and I'll link to. And it was a Facebook profile post. I also did some emails. Okay. So total cost, Facebook group post, Facebook profile post, $0. Boom. And then if you want to send emails from Gmail, boom, $0. You're welcome. All right. Next is a conversational sales flow. So after you get leads and you get people saying you're interested, you got to take them through this structured but conversational sales flow. Okay. Stage 1 is to qualify. Stage 2 is to diagnose the problem that they're experiencing. Third is to define their vision. What do they want most? Fourth is to map the gap between the problem that they're experiencing and the vision that they desire. After that, gain commitment. Make sure, is this an urgent need? Is now the right time for you? How committed are you to making this happen? And then lastly, explanation of your offer to enrollment. Okay? So I'm not going to dive super deep into this conversation. I'll do that in another video. But basically, you just want to have a very clear structure to your conversation with key questions at each stage inside of a Google Doc. All right? And I'll share a template for you here. Then, once you go through this conversation, and also just to note, part of this conversation should be done inside of the DMs. Part of this conversation should be done on a live call, okay? When you're in this early sales prototype stage, sales calls are the best way to do this because you're getting market research and you're closing deals at the same time. Okay? Then you have a Google Doc, which is going to explain your offer. We call it an offer explainer blueprint. Okay? I'll show you what this looks like and I'll have a link. It's just what is the program? What does it include? What are the phases or the modules? In this case, this was an accelerator coaching program. Success stories, data, more success stories, and boom, that's it. Then you want to include a link to Stripe. Okay? You can set this up in literally 2 minutes. I have a link for how to set this up. You just go, you put in the price of your offer, the name of your offer, you create your payment link. Within minutes, you have a way to get paid. Okay? $0. And also, you want to have a Calendly, or Google has an appointment scheduler that you can use, also completely free. Okay? So basically, just so you understand a little bit clearer, to recap, no-brainer offer promo. We make a post, we make emails, we get leads coming in. Then we take those leads first through the qualification questions just to make sure if it's a fit or not. Then we want to get them on a phone call and we go through the rest of the things. We can do some more inside the DMs, but usually the sooner you get someone on a call, the better. And if they're not willing to get on a call, then they're probably not a great fit right now anyways. And then that's it. That's it. You have a Google Doc. You have a Calendly or a appointment scheduler link. You have a Stripe link. And you have posts going out. That is your sales prototype. And so when I launched this, after about 2-3 months, I had done $36,000 in sales. Okay. And this is a case study. This is an interview I did with Thinkific, because this turned out to be one of the most successful launches that they'd ever seen on their platform. And it was all pre-sales. So I literally sold people on the program and the curriculum and the outcomes that they would get without having the actual product fully completed. And so in exchange, this is another key component, in exchange for them signing up before the program was ready, they got a special lifetime deal on the offer. Specifically, they got it for 3K when it was going to be, 5, 6K, right? So there you go. That's example number 1. That is end to end how I got over 36K in pre-sales, with a Google Doc and payment link, and a few posts on email, social media. That's example number 1. But we got more examples. And again, all $0. Stripe takes 3.9% at payment, but fair enough, right? Like, it's all $0. So again, you're spending 3 to 12 hours on this, and you could be getting 3 to 3.6K deals. Decent, right? And this is just your prototype phase, right? Decent. All right. Next is, the Lifestyle Agency Accelerator program. This was basically the graduation program to what I just walked you through. This approach is more of an advanced prototype. It's still, I'd say, considered a prototype, but there are more costs involved. So this is not a $0 prototype. There are some costs involved, but the returns are there. So let's break it down. So this was targeting agency owners. Lifetime value was $5,000 to $7,500. Acquisition cost was 1.1K. And so in this example, we got 5 clients this month. And the spend was 5.5K. So that's 1.1, acquisition cost. Sales difficulty was medium. We were closing about 30 to 35%, and we were closing in 1 call sometimes to 2 calls. So let's break it down. So here, our no-brainer offer was shared in an ad, and then we linked to a case study. Okay. This was hosted on ClickFunnels, so that was a $99 a month expense. Okay. Plus the ads, which I already mentioned. So we had an ad here. You can read it. Me and my beautiful wifey, Anna Maria. People just love pictures of couples in ads, apparently. That was the best performing one. So we had ads, we had a case study landing page, and then we had an offer explainer video. So instead of a Google Doc, we had a Google slide deck. And then I recorded over the Google slide deck me just going through the slides. All right. And that's what you see here. Okay. So this is the exact video that we used and the exact slide deck that we used. Okay. Then we had a application and a scheduling link. Okay. So at this stage, we were more focused about quality. Because we had already gotten some traction. And so we were really just filtering for really good fit people. And so that's why we had the application. But if you were literally just getting started, I'd say remove the application. Just do the simpler version above. Okay. If they were approved, they could schedule. If they were not approved, we told them, look, you're not a fit right now. Here's some other resources to help you in the meantime. Come back when you're at these levels, right? And then we have, again, the conversational sales flow. You can actually see a transcript of a conversation that I had with one of our previous clients. I've removed all sensitive info, as you can see here. And then, these were some wins that George ended up getting after joining. But just to zoom in real quick, he was at a revenue plateau for about a year. And he wanted to get from around 7 figures to multiple 7 figures. And within month 1, he added over $20,000 in recurring revenue. And he was also fully removed from fulfillment and client service delivery. He was able to book a 6-week vacation for him and the family, nearly doubled his business in month 1 and doubled his personal income compared to the previous months, as you can see here. This is some feedback from George. So that's example number 2. Okay. And now let's get into example number 3, which is pretty chill as well. So this was example number 3. This was selling performance marketing, with EarnFlow. We were targeting Amazon automation firms. Our lifetime value was 26.3K. And our acquisition cost was around $500. The acquisition cost was basically just from, the tech for the outbound systems, and some, VA talent to kind of get things set up. The sales difficulty was easy AF. We were literally closing over 50% of people that we talked with, in 0 to 1 calls. And I'm going to walk you through an example of a sales prototype that I used to get a 26.3K client from cold outreach on Instagram without any phone calls, without a website, and without an optimized Instagram page. I literally just hit him up from my personal Instagram. It didn't say a thing about EarnFlow. Okay. So here we go. I did my no-brainer offer promo, which was basically an Instagram cold DM, because I knew, okay, Jay, he is one of our target clients. I found his contact data. I reached out to him. I said, hey, Jay, are you accepting new automation clients? We had a conversation. I took him through the conversational sales flow here. And you can see, the full checklist here. If you want to click through, you can see like the key questions that I asked, the real questions that I asked, because again, we're pulling directly from the conversation. And you also see how I kind of made him qualify himself as a good fit for the partnership. Okay. So that's the checklist. You can take a look there. This was the offer explainer blueprint that I sent to him prior to him signing up. So you can click through there. Same flow, right? Everything is a similar flow, with the link to check out. And within 24 hours, or maybe it was like 25 hours, Jay signed up at $5,000. I had never spoken with him on the phone. I was a complete random stranger on the internet, but I had a great offer. And it's as simple as that, right? So, basically, Jay paid $5K. He paid another $5K 30 days later. And then through the performance billings, the total over 90 days for his account was worth 26.3K. So that's how you can get 3 to 26.3K clients with a sales prototype that costs you $0 to roughly $100, that you can set up within hours and go to market and start getting sales within hours as well. All right. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found this valuable, and I hope you're ready to build your prototype. Peace.